Haha, hello everyone. This is where I realise I haven't plugged my microphone in. So we'll sort that out. Bear with. There we go. Hopefully now all live and well, and hopefully you can see I'm not actually as fat as I appear in the header picture. Let's just pop the chat out of there so I haven't got to look at my own face. Good times. Get the chat window going. Right then. Oh, some of you are in ads. Building up, building up, building up. We're getting there. It's always very difficult to start a live stream. You kind of left just waiting. But yes, there we go. Now we're here. So yeah, good morning everyone. I hope you're well. This is going to be the final lockdown live stream because, well, I think hopefully we are easing somewhat out of it. So I'm hoping I will be able to do more with my fleet, get outside. I'm a bit restricted here. I don't seem to have very good, very dependable 4G outside, so I can't live stream outside where the car is. I have to be inside. And as much as you've loved the sparkly frocks and the Gustav Klimt behind me, it's time to move on. And before I do so, this is the first live stream I've done on my new phone. I've got a Huawei P30 Lite, which was very kindly sent to me by Eddie, pretty much on my birthday, slightly delayed by the post. So yeah, thank you very much. He didn't want the phone, so he sent it on. The camera seems really good, so I'm hopeful that along with the action cam, it should lead to some improvements on the old YouTubes. Speaking of which, I should probably pay more attention to. Da, da, da. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Copenhagen in the house. Yorkshire. Is Wasabi Cars in? Oh yes. Hello, Wasabi Cars. That's Japan represented. Uwa Chinese phone. I was already using an Oppo F1S, which is also Chinese. Right. Questions coming in. Says, would you consider pruning your fleet and therefore enabling you to concentrate on fewer cars? Well, I can now reveal that next week, it just cut out there. I think we're back. Some of the cars are going to stay in storage. I need to find a storage location nearer here. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, video seems to lag. Has that sorted itself out? I hope so. But there we go. It did freeze. Yeah, we're having router problems here as well. But yeah, I can reveal new car next week. So my downsizing of the fleet is not happening because I'm acquiring a new vehicle. Hoping to reveal more about the saved. Slow connection today. Oh, that's bad times indeed. Yeah, we'll just have to hope it actually works and keeps on working. Um, like I say, we have been having a few router issues here, so hopefully it'll work, and we'll keep going. Uh, what is the best BX as a daily driver? I would probably say one of the turbo diesels or a 1.9 petrol. Bigger petrol engines are quite nice. How's the City Rover? Hoping for news on the City Rover next week. I was meant to be having news this week. In fact, I think I have had a bit of news this week. Um, I've managed to find some bits for it, suspension bits. I've ordered those. They should be landing on Monday. I think it's in for welding on Wednesday, so hopefully that will have the City Rover will have an MOT by the end of the week. Any teasers on the new edition? Yeah, I've got a really good teaser for you. It is a car I have driven, and it exists in my back catalogue of videos. So if you would like to go through the 600 odd videos in my back catalogue, you can have fun guessing which car it is. Should be fun times. Luke Lappage has just got a Ford Fairlane AU. Oh, nice work, sir. And a tidy Sierra Mark 1 project. Does that mean you're in New Zealand, Luke? Because that sounds like a very New Zealand sort of combination there. The Sierra estates were sold in New Zealand because there wasn't an equivalent Ford stroke Mazda estate made down south. So that was just a guess of mine. Oh, Big Jono, thank you very much. Last bacon rolls and tea for a while. Yes, well, fortunately I do have tea here in my Foxan mug, which I really mustn't forget about, so I apologise if there are any slurping noises. 2CV. Oh, we just had another cutout. Are we back? It's going really well this morning, isn't it? Right. Clear my throat. Yeah, the 2CV, I don't want to start the job and find out I can't complete it. So it may be that I end up shipping her off to one of my 2CV specialist chums for them to do the work, or at least for them to do the work while I watch, so I can better understand how it's done. It's a few years since I had the rear brakes apart, and that was done at Sparrow Automotive in Herefordshire. We've got all of the buffering off, and we'll try. Right. I think we're now live on the 4G. Is that better? Is that worse? Let me know. We might have to give up on this if this isn't going to work. It's still lag-tastic. That's bad times. Oh no, people are reporting better. Okay, we'll see if the 4G will save us. Thankfully, I've got a decent bit of data. I don't know what we're going to do about our Wi-Fi. I think we need a new router. I think we've just killed it. Very, very upsetting. So good, we're better. So yes, 2CV. I don't think I'm going to get the 2CV in for the retest, is what I'm trying to say. I think I'm going to ship her off and get the work done. Leyland National Ian question mark. What about the Leyland National? I have driven one, and I'm not going to buy one anytime soon. Yes, the router is away from floor level. It is just down there. It is within my sight. It just seems to get overloaded, probably because we've got kids streaming and stuff. Could you not do your brakes yourself on the 2CV? Well, the big issue is there's a 44mm. Have anything? I don't have a scaffold tube long enough. Oh, thank you. Just get. I don't think I have a scaffold tube long enough to crack the nut off. They're tightened to over 200 pound-foot of torque. Yes, we have tried rebooting the router. It's rubbish. It has been for quite a while. Yes, we've changed the Wi-Fi channels. Thank you for all that info. So yeah, and the wheel bearing, you need specialist tools to do, tools I haven't got. So that's not happening either. So yeah, I think I'm going to ship the 2CV, make it better. Oh, thank you, Greg, for becoming a basic hub nutter. Have you heard about scrappage scheme? Might be a vlog coming on scrappage, so that will be coming up. Final question mark. Yeah, it's just the last lockdown live stream. Hopefully the last live stream I'm going to do sat in this chair. Next week I'm going to revert back to the question and answer sessions where people on Patreon and Hubnut channel members can ask me questions, and then I'll we go again. Still having problems. This isn't great, is it? Maybe I should have rebooted the phone this morning. But yeah, I'm getting slightly distracted by the technology. This is another reason why sometimes doing live broadcasts is a bad idea, because sometimes things just break. Right, it's buffering again. Well, I think I'm going to have to give up on this. This is not working very well, is it? I seem to be buffering, really struggling, whether I'm on the Wi-Fi or on the 4G. So the new phone is not doing well. Well, we'll keep going as long as we can. If it starts breaking up again, we'll see what happens. But it looks like we're just going to have one of those days. Yes, turning it on and off. If I turn the router off or turn the phone off, then this ends. So I think you'd probably prefer I don't do that. So we'll carry on and see how things go. Right, start getting your questions back in. But yeah, next week will be a pre-recorded video for Hubnut channel members and patrons will have asked me questions, and that post has already been made. The questions are already coming in, already quite a lot of questions. So yeah, that should be good times. Another test on the Jaguar I-Pace, unlikely. I've kind of done one. What do you think of Bedfords? I think I need to drive more of them. Oh yes, thank you to people who've been donating while I've been trying to sort out these problems. Philo's Garage there. Who else? East Coast Steam as well. Thank you very much. No problem at all. It's working better, that's good times. Tried using the laptop with a wired connection. I'm not on the laptop's here. And I find the problem with the laptop is laptop quality, the picture quality is dreadful because it's only using a webcam. So while it technically is possible to hook up either my phone or the action cam via Bluetooth to the laptop to use as a webcam, ugh. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Make sure no one else is using the Wi-Fi. I'm not on the Wi-Fi anymore, so that's kind of irrelevant. I'm now on the 4G. So GIF-GAF is doing its thing. Oh, nice cup of tea. Shane Marsh asks, is torsion bar suspension any good? Yes. Citroen traction of Van, many Renaults, including the 16, Citroen H-Van, Porsches. A lot of Porsches had torsion bar suspension. It's fine. There we go again. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a problematic sort of a day. Slightly disappointing, really. But there we go. It's everyone else's connection that's wrong, not yours. Okay, yes, let's think that, and I'll ignore the fact it keeps on going connecting on my phone. Keep still, it'll make the video lag less. Is that still enough? Will the new car be able to tow a trailer carrying tuk? Haha, yes. Although it hasn't got a tow bar. So yeah, I wanted a tow vehicle, so I bought one without a tow bar. Actually, someone's asked that question for next week's Q&A. And I need to do a bit of prep and think about that, so that will be considered for the next video, so that's good. You need 5G, eh? Rural Wales? Some chance. Is it a Porsche 914? No, I'll leave that to Musty 1. XMV6, that'd be lovely. It isn't an XMV6. So you've imported Betty. Betty would make a fantastic tow vehicle, apart from the fact she's got a New Zealand tow bar which is buys, so wouldn't be good. But yeah, I would quite like an AU, to be honest. I so enjoyed it. It is a 4x4. I'm giving away far too much now. Row 80? Oh, I'm not sure if towing with a row 80 would be a good idea. Can you suspend tow an Invacar? Technically you can. There were trailers, that's how the specialists did it, even though it's a CVT and you're not meant to tow CVT. That's what the specialists did back in the day, put the front wheel on a dolly and just drag it around. But given the speeds and distances I'd need to cover, I want took completely off the ground. Does it mean a current fleet member will be departing? No, because most of them are off the road at the moment. They're not costing me any money other than storage, and per car that's quite a low amount at the moment. It's a good reason to have loads of cars. Per car it's nothing. But yeah, at some point I will get more cars on the road, but I think they're going to be taking it in turns. I don't think I'm going to be having all the cars on the road at once. That would be very, very expensive. Golf Country, is it even a 4x4? Yes it is. Genuine 4x4. We cut out again. Great. But yeah, it isn't that. Lots of guesses coming in. Freelander, I've never done a video on. I must do something about that. I've always quite liked the Freelander. I don't think I'd buy one as a tow vehicle though. Am I keeping the City Rover? Yes. And I'm not going to turn Giselle into a 4x4. Could you put the Invacar on a roof rack? I suppose I could take some inspiration from Cletus McFarland, who was made... is that a result of strong tea? It could be Cliff. Yeah, Cletus McFarland made a roof rack for a Ford Crown Vic that can take his side-by-side off-road buggy thing. Doesn't look very safe, if I'm entirely honest with you. I like blipping the throttle between gear changes. Well, I do as well. I don't do it to annoy people. I do it because it saves the synchromesh. The video is jumpy. Right, I don't think I can change the quality on here. No, doesn't look like I can. So we're stuck with it. We just got a jumpy phone. That's a bit disappointing. New phone, apparently not very good for doing live streams. Disappoint. Is there a plan, still a plan to trailer Tuk to further away places? Yes, because I would like to take her on bigger adventures, but getting out of Wales is challenge enough in the Invacar. Maybe I'm just wussing out too much. Turn auto sync off on your phone. I don't even know what that is. So yeah, I won't be doing that. How do you insure all your cars? They're all insured. Most of them are insured with one company, Peter S. Taylor. Also trading as Bishop Calway. Very small little company, very nice to deal with. They're the only people who do me business cover on my classics. And because it's business cover, it's not the cheapest insurance, but excellent customer service. Is the new phone another Oppo? No, it's a Huawei. And yeah, I was kind of given it, and now it's playing up, and I'm not very happy with it. Brr. Do you have the license for towing cars on a flatbed? No, no, because of my age, I don't need a trailer license. I can tow a trailer, and as long as the trailer weight isn't over 3.5 tons, I think. It's quite complex, but I don't need a trailer license. I would if I drove a truck. Have you got any trips planned, seeing as lockdown seems to be easing? No, I've got nothing. Broken again. I can't really justify travel, so yeah, I'm not doing that. Plans for a new router? Maybe, but it can't be the router because I've swapped to the 4G and we're still having issues. Tachograph needed? No, Nigel, you don't need a tachograph if you're towing for your own personal reasons, only if it's commercial. So that's all right. Oh, you did towing with a Nissan Navara. That sounds brave because they snap chassis like no one's business. Have you ever driven a Datsun 180B? No, I would like to. I've got a friend who's got a very nice estate. But yeah, we'll get on to that. Issues with a Matiz. I think it's down on power, but I would like to get the Matiz out and get it motoring again. So we'll see what's going on. I think they peg the quality anyway on a live stream. I don't think they stream. I don't think you can change how much quality you have when you stream. I might be wrong in that. I'll see. I've not had this problem before. Nissan Patrol 6-cylinder. That'd be nice, but there aren't any left. Oh, it's a D40 that snap chassis. I see. Right, there we go. That's progress for you, I guess, isn't it? Yeah. What classic feature would you reintroduce on a new car? Probably fresh air ventilation to the face rather than all this nonsense with air conditioning and stuff. Sometimes you just want air vents to the face with fresh air. The GSA has them. They are wonderful. My car's automatic lets me take off in second. Would that harm it? No, not at all. Mercedes-Benz W124 and other Mercs of that era always pull off in second unless you absolutely give it the beans, and then it'll use first gear, and only then. Most embarrassing damaging thing that has happened. Someone's asked that question for next week's Q&A video, so I'll answer that in that one. Ever driven a Hyundai Accent 3-cylinder diesel? No, but I saw one the other day. I think it was a Getz actually, but it sounded like the 3-cylinder diesel. Air conditioning button is like a reverse power boost on a Matiz. Mine doesn't even have aircon. She is a mere SE, low spec. It's the lowest spec in the UK. Oh, and you've cut out again, and we're back again. Right. Right, where are we? The questions, they're all jumping about as well. Yeah, W126, love a W126. They are lovely cars. Very large, though. Suzuki Liana Saloon, sufficiently hub nut? Yes. Reasonably priced car. Yes, the Porsche 928 does have a Mercedes gearbox. Those Mercedes gearboxes were used in a lot of cars. I think even the Jaguar XKR used a Mercedes gearbox. Because Jaguars, well, they were using ZF gearboxes, and I don't think they could handle the power at the time. Favourite Australian car? Well, I think AU Falcon is topping that list, frankly, but some of the older ones are nice as well. Got a fan to use nearby, might be the room temperature. I don't think the phone's excessively hot. Maybe it is, maybe it's because it's charging. Let's remove the charge cable and see if that improves matters. There we go. I don't know if that's made any difference at all. There we go. Don't Daewoo Matiz have head gasket issues? Yeah, and it has had a head gasket. I'm slightly worried it may have gone again. Got nothing to Uh, yeah, we've got nothing to prove that. Porsche 928, the manuals had a transaxle, I believe, but you can create a transaxle just by having the automatic gearbox at the back. I think Chevrolet Corvettes also have a rear-mounted gearbox, so there's a torque tube from the engine to the gearbox at the back. I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not an American car fan, but yeah, there we go. Thoughts on the Triumph TR7? I quite like them, but they mostly remind me I'm not a sports car fan. They got remarkably compliant suspension, and yeah, we'll see whether I can get my hands on one at some point. I would love to. Did I get to drive a Barra Turbo in Oz? No, I drove one in New Zealand, BA Falcon XR6. Quite a nice car, to be honest, but I think I preferred my AU overall. It was stupidly quick. Do you live near Chepstow? No. Thoughts on hydrogen cars? I'm not really convinced by hydrogen cars, to be honest, because you've got to create the cut that again. Have actually driven the what's the Toyota Mirai, which is just like driving an electric car. So the functionality is good, but yeah, I'm not convinced it's the way forward. Oh yeah, rear pantograph wiper on the Porsche 928. I'd love to do a video. Uh, William Bailey got his hubnut sticker. Thank you, sir. Your thoughts on a Toyota Yaris Verso? I've forgotten what they were called. Fun Cargo, that's it. Fun Cargo on the Japanese domestic market. Very strange looking car. Puts practicality ahead of style. Therefore, I like it. Bedford CF with a 3.3 Holden engine. Oh, that'd be good. I had a CF with the 2.3 slant 4, and that was pretty decent, to be honest. Got new wiper blades fitted today. Ah, Mondeo, yes. Triangle of Doom. Very bad. Have you driven a Triumph Stag? Yes, but off camera. I quite like them. They make an amazing noise. Some very interesting exhaust manifolding going on that unique 3-litre V8 engine. It's a car I would definitely like to do a video on, especially as its anniversary year. Where are we? 50 years of the Triumph Stag. Blimey, half a century. Someone saw a suggestion for hubnut T coasters. Yeah, could do with one. Good idea. Isn't Bedford basically Vauxhall? Well, sort of. Yeah, it's the commercial arm of Vauxhall is how it ended up being, and then the sold off. They sold off the truck arm, and the vans became Vauxhalls or Opals, presumably. What's your opinion on the Skoda Estelle Saloon? But I wish I had one. Pretty much. Should the Chevette have come with another engine than the 1256? Probably. Yeah, it's a bit old school, that engine. Any test of a Macho Rancho test? I haven't got one lined up, but I would like to do one very much. I'm guessing you haven't bought Huey. Correct, I have not bought the very first Land Rover ever made. I don't think my funds are quite going to stretch to that, if I'm entirely honest. Will House found a Matiz owner's handbook and bought it. Same year as my Matiz. Apparently no models came with electric windows. Maybe that's not a UK one then, because from launch, the gone again. Yeah, don't believe any of them had electric rear windows. Bigger mugs, yes, it's something we're working on. We're looking into, but it's throwing up all sorts of packaging problems as well. So yeah, good tea. What's your oldest car? Oldest car at the moment is the Invacar, 1972. It's the only 70s car I own. All the rest are 80s, 90s, and one in the 2000s. Gareth Armstrong, have you seen the windscreen wipers on a Vector W8? They're hopeless. I watched that. It was Doug DeMuro drove one, didn't he? And he did a wiper demonstration. They were clattering into each other. There were pipes all over the place. Absolutely terrible. What are your thoughts of the 1999 Toyota Platts? I've totally forgotten what the equivalent of the Platts is. Is that the Yaris with a boot? I think I've forgotten. It might be. Feels like a long time since I was in New Zealand. Where are we? Have you ever driven a Comma PB? No. Steph at iDriver Classics has, and I'm still envious of that fact. I need to do that. There are so many cars I still want to drive. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Mazda MX-3, good fun. 1.8 litre V6. I could turn the camera off, but that seems to defeat the object of being on YouTube, doesn't it? And I say that, I don't think I can turn the camera off, actually. I don't think that's possible. How is the little dog? Little dog is well. Thank you very much. Laser Gear Sedan has a rear wiper. Yeah, the top spec Mazda 323, because that's what a Ford Laser is, also had a rear wiper. I think it was the executive model had that. Yeah, there we go. Platts is the Vitz stroke Yaris saloon. We didn't get the Yaris as a saloon at all in the UK. So seeing them, or Toyota Echo indeed. Um, yeah, yeah, I haven't seen one in the UK. Maybe there's some about. I have seen the odd Vitz. So someone has imported a Toyota Yaris into the UK. Do you attend the Festival of the Unexceptional? I do. Again, can't believe I can drop the quality on the stream. The stream is not the same as making the videos, so I can't do that. Lots of people asking about Hyundai Getz. Would I buy one? Probably, but I'm in no desperate rush to buy one. There we go, answered the question. Most unappreciated car you have driven? Oh, that's one that needs some thought, because I've driven a lot of underappreciated cars. Which one is the most underappreciated? The Peugeot 404 was an interesting one, because I said it's underappreciated, and in the UK that is very much the case, but of course common, and there's a lot more of them in classic ownership, the Netherlands, France, etc. So they're going, well, they're not that off the radar to us. We know plenty about them. So it just goes to show different places, different cars. Weren't there diesels of the 404? There were, meant to be very good diesels. I would quite like to drive one. Any regrets from your Australia New Zealand trip? Yeah, I think just trying to tackle too much. I didn't necessarily enjoy the countries I went to, because I was trying to record as many videos as possible. So yeah, absolutely crazy times. Uh, do you think in 20 or 30 years' time people will talk about the cars of today as fondly as we do from 20, 30 years ago? Yeah, it's an interesting one. Um, the world of new cars now is, I think, very different to 20 or 30 years ago. So there's, everyone has every part of the market covered these days. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Have you seen the film Ali G in the House? No, not my cup of tea, but I do know an Invercast stars in it. Were you ever dumbfounded by traffic signs down under? Not really. No, just follow everyone else and hope for the best. Oh, thank you, James. Very kind of you. Other than the rust, anything else worrying you on the Tercel? No, it is just the rust, really. I know it needs some CV joints, but I'm not anticipating that being too difficult to sort out. It's quite an interesting mix, the Tercel. It's got the rear axle out of the rear wheel drive Corolla that Toyota was making at the time, and the front end was used in other models. There was a Tercel hatchback, so the front end is kind of identical to that. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. Just wait for us to reconnect. Have you seen the Chinese version of a Daewoo Matiz that seems to have been mated to a Reliant Robin? Yeah, someone's already mentioned JR Go, I think it is, in the comments. I've seen his video of, yeah, what appears to be a Daewoo Matiz turned into a freewheeler with a rear-mounted twin-cylinder engine, and I desperately want to try driving one. I don't believe there are any in the UK. Yeah, is anyone ever going to speak fondly of a Qashqai? I mean, to us, that's kind of the ultimate in dull. I recorded a video on a Qashqai and it was so dull I never used it. But it the classic car scene is driven by nostalgia. So it may be that in 20 or 30 years' time, the kids of today will be hankering for a Qashqai because that's the car that took them to school, in much the same way that we hanker after cars of the 70s or 80s. So I don't want to be one of those persons who's just dismissive and says these cars will never be classics, because that just makes it sound like an old boring person. And I prefer to think of myself merely as a boring person. Oh, thank you for that top up to the T-Fun, Paul Chippers. Da, da, da. Ford Laser sedans were called Meteor for quite a while. Ooh, I didn't know that one. No, no, hold on. I saw meteors somewhere. I can't remember where. Uh, Current Suzuki Ignis hubnut car of the future. I do like them. They're very cute, aren't they? The Suzuki Ignis. I like Suzuki. They still seem to be trying to do things a bit differently to everyone else. I know Johnny Smith, car pervert, very fond of his Suzuki Jimny that he bought for his wife. Yeah, we know the truth, Johnny. You bought it for yourself. Yeah, he seems to like it very much. A proper 4x4. Don't wave your hand about. I'm not allowed to move. Scary times. Uh, I think the Ford EcoSport or EcoSport, however you want to pronounce it, will be quite hubnut. They look awful. I know, me of all people shouldn't be one who judges cars by how they look, but oh, those EcoSports look absolutely horrible. Anvil Tech, when it's finished, would you like to drive my Austin Westminster A10 with a Healy 3000 spec engine? Well, I'm not going to say no to that, am I? That'd be marvellous. For those who don't know, I've already had an Austin Westminster A90 myself. We stopped again. Yeah, it went like stink, is what I was trying to say about my Austin A90 Westminster with twin SUs. It didn't like going around corners, yeah, it was fun. Glen Rear has an Ignis. Oh, excellent. I've got a slight issue. I've already got a massive backlog of stuff to cover in cars, so I'm kind of reluctant to add to it because yeah, I've still got so much to do. Buffering again. Yeah, well, I don't even know how long I've been doing the video because the timer is reset 7 minutes ago for some reason. I've no idea why. I suppose I started at 11, didn't I? So we've done 35 minutes. But yeah, I may have to just give up on this because it just keeps on cutting out all the time. Very, very irritating. Um, so yeah, maybe it's maybe it just demonstrates that this really should be the last one because it doesn't seem to be going very, very well. Very irritating. Did you hear of the FG Falcon with the EcoBoost 4-cylinder? Oh, that sounds like absolute misery. I know those EcoBoost engines have quite a lot of power, but yeah, if you're driving a Ford Falcon, you want a big 6 or 8 cylinder engine, don't you? You don't want 4 cylinders. That's just, oh no, 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 no. Are there any vids in your back catalogue of you driving LT buses? No, sadly not. Naturally, a Route Master would be a bus I would very much like to drive. Driven a Yaris before? Yes, but a long time ago. It was actually when I had Myrtle, the Matiz, the first time round. So Myrtle would have been a year or so old. The Yaris came out. I went and test drove one, and it was a bit depressing, really, because the Yaris is a much better drive than the Daewoo Matiz, even if you don't get the 3-cylinder rortiness. Yeah, they're not great cars, the Daewoo Matiz, for driving. I love mine to bits, but it's not a brilliant car. What do you think of the Mark 1 Honda Insight? I've driven one. You can go and check out my thoughts on a Mark 1 Honda Insight. So that should be good. Would you test a Honda CRV Mark 1 with column shift? Yeah, because I think it's the same column shift on the automatics as I had in my... There we go, reset again. Yeah, I haven't got a C6 lined up. Would be good to do a video on one, but I'll warn you now, I don't like the C6. Too modern, too complicated. Don't like them. 1 litre Yaris was a 4-cylinder, not a 3-cylinder. The first 3-cylinder Toyota we saw over here was the Aygo, which of course was also a Citroen C1 or a Peugeot 107, and they're quite funky. I quite like those. I'm just not sure I could live with the rear wiper. How many miles would you say you cover each year in 30 miles? So not many, generally. A few more in the cars I was lent in Australia, where I was off gallivanting about in them. You've seen the Holden Ute and the Chrysler Neon. You haven't seen the Subaru Forester yet. That's a video I need to get out. But yeah, how many miles I cover each year? A fair number. I mean, bearing in mind I did 6,000 miles driving around New Zealand in 2 different cars, but that was a bit different to normal. Worst Nissan I drove was a Teeder. Now, I had a passenger ride in a Teeder in New Zealand, and I thought it felt quite nice from the back seat. Uh, oh, James French is saying that the FG Falcon with a 4 performed well and handled more nimbly due to less weight. I don't care about weight. You don't buy a Ford Falcon because you're interested in weight. You buy a Ford Falcon because you want a big engine. If you want a small engine, you'd buy a smaller Ford. That's my problem. I don't like this miniaturization of engines because, especially with those EcoBoost engines, I've had all sorts of trouble with them packing up because they put the 1 litre EcoBoost engine in the Mondeo, and it didn't necessarily go very well. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the matter. In a big car, I want a big engine. The problem is I like little engines, so that's why I drive little cars very often. Uh, Fancy driving your big 7, brush painted and 25 horsepower of pure aggression. Would love to, yes, but like I say, I've got quite a backlog of cars already, and of course I can't do any at the moment, so I'm a bit stuck. Ooh, Tone asks, do you prefer miles or kilometers? I think I actually prefer kilometers because they click past much more quick. Oh, sorry, we'll start that one again. Thoughts on the Toyota MR2, the first MR2? Yeah, the more I watch of people working on MR2s, and Mighty Car Mods have had a second gen recently. Sarah N Tuned is working on one, her Mr. Dose, and they've got one on Skid Factory now, which is a Mark 1 MR2. They just look so horrible to work on. I don't think I would ever want to go anywhere near one. Would you do a hill climb? You need licenses to do hill climbs, but despite that, I have managed to take Ellie up Shelsley Walsh and Prescott hill climbs. Been up Prescott in a Jaguar XJS as well, untimed, because then you can just have fun anyway. I've driven an E-Type up Shelsley Walsh, which was a lot of fun, and I've driven Took up Shelsley Walsh, which was really slow. So yeah, I just don't have the money to do professional racing because you need the licenses, you need the equipment, your car needs all the safety gear. But yeah, I certainly enjoy just occasionally heading up a hill, given half a chance. It's all good fun. Tried out a Renault 4 or Citroen XM yet? I used to own an XM bungle, so go and have a look through the back catalogue. There's lots of XM stuff. I drove an XM V6 as well. It's back in the earlier days, so the video quality isn't there. Renault 4 is one I'm hoping to do at some point. Stop waving your hand about. What's wrong with the hands? Is that what's causing the problem? Is it all hand related? I mean, I'm talking to you, I'm gesticulating. That's what people do. People don't sit like this when they're having conversations. Although with social distancing, maybe people will do that even more. Renault 4CV is a car I definitely want to test. They are gorgeous little cars. Maybe it's the sparkly dresses. Yeah, it could be. Too much sparkle, is that the problem? Or there's even more sparkle. That's going to upset the algorithms, isn't it? Ever driven a Renault 7? Nope. There is at least one in the UK. Suzuki Carry, that'd be fun to do. Yeah. Put the dress on? No. But would love your opinion on the first gen Alto. First gen, well, the Alto badge has been used since back in the 1980s, and they were lovely cars, built in Hungary. And there we go again, reconnecting again. Ugh. Oh, Simone asks, what's your favourite thing about Myrtle the Matiz? The noise. And possibly the styling. It's that combination of frantic 3-cylinder engine and beautiful Giugiaro styling. Yeah, I will forget that. Forgive that car anything. If you buy another Invacar, will you end up with a tuk-tuk? That's a good point. I would actually like a tuk-tuk. Having driven that Bajaj, or however you pronounce it, three-wheeler over in New Zealand. Yeah, fascinating little vehicle. Would love to spend more time driving one. Do you think K cars work in Britain? Not really, because people like driving longer distance. Oh, the Falling Embers. Thank you very much for a tea top-up fund. So yeah, I'm not sure K cars are all that well suited here. They should be, we should be able to drive little cars about the place. Maybe there should be more of them rather than driving around in enormous SUVs. But yeah, there we go. The Matiz had a CVT option. Wow, we didn't get that in the UK. They were all manual. Um, I say that the Chevrolet Matiz may have had such an option. I don't know. Would you dare drive a tuk-tuk in India? That would be brave, but I would do it because I'm stupid. Um, what car have you found the best driving and control positioning? Ooh, Citroen GSA is going to stand a fair chance at that one, I think, because all the controls are at your fingertips. Oh, someone's messaging me. Don't message me now, thank you. Now is not the time. Ever get to drive a Metro 6R4? Chance would be a fine thing. Would love to, but I think I'd scare myself silly. Suzuki Celerio, good fun. I'd like to try one. Da, da, da. Do you like Kia Picanto? Yeah, I'm not mad about them. I'd certainly like to try one. Daewoo Espero. Yeah, I kind of have one lined up. It's in my not my back catalogue, my email stash. It is there, waiting for it to, yeah, finally get there and actually drive it. So let's see how that goes. What's your most viewed car on your vids? It's actually the Green Goddess is number one. In which car did you do your personal top speed on the Speedo? That was, here we go, reconnecting again. Yeah, not quite sure what's going on here. Not having great luck with my new camera. Ugh. Have you ever sported a moustache? No, I've never taken the beard off and left it as just the tash. Tony Pond drove you around Gaydon in a 6R4. Wow, that must have been an amazing experience. He was one heck of a driver. How's George? George is well. I know he's been helping Rachel with house decorating, by which I mean lying on all the wallpaper she's pulled off the walls. Oh yeah, personal top speed on the Speedo was 70 miles an hour, but her Speedo goes up to 80, I think. But Ellie, the 2CV, has been completely off the clock. I think we manage 130 kilometers an hour, and the Speedo only goes up to 120. Hillman Avenger, have you driven one? Yes, very briefly. If you go and check my video from Oamaru, where I drove several little cars, but I would like to do an Avenger specific video at some point. You've got a Gen F Maloo. Your friend said you can't get a hubnut sticker. I've driven a Maloo, therefore it's hubnut. Sticker away. Feel fine. Ladies love a moustache, do they now? The light in Huawei P30 Lite is your problem. Maybe it is. Maybe it just isn't up to it, but that's going to be a problem. If this phone can't handle live streaming, that's not good news. Do you own any old driving gloves? No. Best microcar you've driven? Ooh, that's a tricky one. I mean, technically my Invercar counts, and it's a lot more refined than most microcars. I found the Heinkel Trojan was a lot of fun. I quite enjoyed that one. The Bond minicar was mostly that was a frightening car. Is there a car unworthy of a hubnut sticker? Well, to be honest, you buy the stickers because you're supporting the channel. So I'm not going to say you cannot put a sticker on your car. I mean, that seems a bit harsh. What draws you to the Vauxhall Frontera? Asks Finners. And that's probably because on Facebook I was posting that I really wanted a Vauxhall Frontera. Sadly, I haven't quite managed to find one, which is a bit annoying. So that isn't next week's car. There's a spoiler alert. But I've always liked the styling of the Vauxhall Frontera. I've driven a couple. And there we go. There's more. Yeah. It's not going to be the router thermal throttling because I'm not using the router at the moment. We're on the Wi-Fi and it's still lagging and being problematic. So I think I'm going to have to render this phone unsuitable for live streaming. It's very sad, very sad. Any opinions about the evolution of Korean cars? Just very impressive, I think. I think they're frankly leading the way at the moment. 4x4 road tests appear limited on your back catalogue. Yeah, there aren't many, and there are fewer still that actually involve off-roading. I would like to do something about that. Yeah, it's never easy to try and film off-roading, especially if you're one person with a truck, because it's an awful lot of getting out, setting the camera up, getting back in, and it doesn't make for very dynamic footage. So the alternative is you need an assistant, and it's very hard for me to get an assistant because I live in rural Wales and my friends are always busy, or live miles away. So yeah, that's why there isn't more of that. There are reported issues with YouTube today. Oh, there we go then. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's YouTube itself. There's been all sorts of problems. Cletus McFarland had an issue this week where one of his videos refused to process. I've had that several times, especially when I was in Australia. I'd leave a video uploading overnight and then it refused to process and I'd have to do it again. So, ugh. You need to drive a Nissan Sani. I don't even know what that is. Wow. Uh, is the Nissan Qashqai the most boring car in the world? Well, certainly my road test was so boring I've never published it. Is the new car petrol or diesel? I don't think I can give too much more away. You're going to have to wait. Hoping to get it on Monday, but we'll see. It needs a bit of work doing because it's one of my cars. So we'll see what happens. Will there ever be an Australian built car? It's not looking great, is it? I mean, the industry is dead there, and to start up an industry, very, very difficult. So I don't think Australia is going to build cars again, which is very sad. We'll see what happens in the world. You don't know what's going to happen. There might be something globally that makes Australia the place to be for car manufacturing. You don't know. Oh wow, when I make it to Denmark and it's cut out again. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up at this point because it's very frustrating to find you've said something and haven't actually been connected to the internet. So yeah, thanks for coming along, everyone. Steve Hanworth says, Peter Anderson channel, do you watch it? Not only do I watch it, I met the man, and I'm hoping to get that video out for your enjoyment next week. I went to see Peter Anderson, and yeah, good times. And I drove his Ford Falcon as well, so that will be another video to come. But yeah, thank you for all coming along. I'm sorry it's been beset by problems. It's very, very irritating. We'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, exactly. If YouTube is having problems now, wait until the rocket launch later. It's not very encouraging. YouTube does seem a bit buggy of late. But yeah, I'm going to have a cup of tea and a spot of lunch. I thank you all for coming along and joining in. Special thanks to those who donated via the super chats. Don't forget you can donate via the store if you prefer. That's always an option as well. Go to hubnut.org, where you can also find lovely merchandise, which Rachel and George are more than happy to package up for your enjoyment. And yeah, I shall see you in a future video. And there will be more live streams at some point. No more lockdown live streams. But I certainly hope to report to you, maybe from a car show if one manages to happen at some point. And yeah, we'll see you in future. Yeah, well, I'll still try and be around on the Saturdays to keep up with the comments when I post the Q&A videos. But yeah, until then, farewell.